Good day, everyone. We are Group 2, and we are going to tackle culinary art equipment, small and large food service equipment. Small equipment, small wares are the tools that your employees will use in the kitchen to prepare and cook your dishes. When ordering smallwares for your new kitchen, make sure that you purchase the right quantity so your employees aren't fighting for the same item. Here's our list for essential smallwares for your commercial kitchen. First is chef knives. A sharp set of knives are the most important set of tools in the kitchen. Sharp chef knives not only make easier but they also decrease the risk of accident of cuts. Next one, um, cutting boards. Also, if you want to color code your kitchen to prevent cross contamination, you can purchase multiple colors of cutting boards and follow HCCP guidelines. Next, mixing bowls. When purchasing mixing bowls, be sure to make multiple size for different application kasi para hindi ano, merong mga sukat-sukat. Pans. There are many different kinds of pans such as sauce, bracing, and fry. Consider which types your kitchen needs and what quantity before placing your order. Pots. Similar to pans, there are multiple types of pots such as stock pots, double boilers, pasta cookers, sauce pots, and more. Whisk. Whisk are useful tool that you can use to incorporate air into your ingredients, giving them a light and fluffy texture. You can also choose from the different types of whisk for the one that best suit your needs. Food pans. Prepare dishes in the oven in food pans or use them to hold food in a food warmer until it's ready to serve. Food pans are especially essential for cutters, for transferring food and buffets, for serving food in steam tables. Next, kitchen spoons. Stir sauces in the back of house area. Serve foods in your buffet, or remove ingredients from a bowl with kitchen spoons. This versatile tools should be on every restaurant equipment list. Turners. If your restaurant or diner is planning on using griddles, char broilers, or grill turners, are most hub tools. Choose turners with a high heat handles to keep your employees' hand safe. Yeah. Tongs. Tongs have a lot of utility and you can use them for food prep, plating, or serving purposes, depending on your needs. Large equipment. These are the equipment or items that are big and sometimes fixed. They are heavy, clumsy to more about easily. Examples include working tables, cooking ranges, sink, steamers, boiling fan, fryers, and oven, microwave oven, dishwasher, refrigerator, and freezer. Yeah. First is cooking range. A cooking range is a stove with room for cooking several different things at one time. That's three types. First, gas range. It requires a gas to operate. Electric range. It required electrical outlet instead of gas line and popular with homewares who do not have a gas line. Next, induction range. This type of range is using electromagnetism to heat cookware directly. Next, two steamer. Steamers are used primarily to cook vegetables, seafood, and other foods where moisture retention is essential to visual appearance and taste. Boiling fan. Boiling fans are the fans in direct heating. It means that the main heating tank or pan consists of the wall jacket. Deep fat fryers. A deep fat fryer is an appliance designed specifically for this kind of cooking and holds a significant amount of oil and features a basket and lid. Working table. Unlike the kitchen islands, a working table offers extra counter space for preparing a food and getting work done in the kitchen, but it doesn't focus on also adding storage space. Zincs, also known by other names, include zinker, washbowl, hands basin, wash basin, and simply basin. This is bowl-shaped plumbing fixture used for washing hand, dishwashing, and other purposes. Oven. Ovens use energy generation sources like the combustion of fuels such as gas or oil or electricity. Microwave oven. Microwave oven is a very popular kitchen device that heats and cooks food by the use of microwave radiation in the electromagnetic spectrum in a very quick time and maintain the nutrients in food. Dishwasher. Dishwasher is a machine used to clean dishwasher, cookware, and cutlery automatically. Refrigerator and freezer. This equipment is used to keep the food cold temperature, help food stay fresh longer. That's all.
Next, knife. Knife is available in a wide variety of different types and sizes. A knife is used for cutting, chopping, dicing, slicing, peeling, separating, and other kitchen tasks where the main metal shaft of a blade is of value for food preparation. Example of this include bread knife, a knife with a separated blade for cutting bread. Next is boning knife, a knife used for removing the bones of poultry, meat, and fish. Next guy. Spoon. Spoon is a type of cutlery, sometimes called flatware, especially as part of a play setting. It is used primarily for transferring food to the mouth. Spoons are also used in food preparation to measure, mix, stir, and choose ingredients and for serving food. Next, espatola. The shape of espatolas vary depending on its use. Some are square or rectangular in shape, while others are elongated. Usually, spatulas are also perforated, especially the ones which are used for cooking. So yung spatula po must be made up to different materials. First is plastic spatula. It is usually cheap and easy to find. This version is for those who are trying to equip their kitchen on a limited budget. Next is metal or stainless. It is more durable and resilient. It can resist very high temperatures, so it is good material for flipper and grilling. Also rubber. It is material that can usually moderate to heat. Next is silicone. It is good for those who are working with non-stick pans. And last is wood. It is relatively inexpensive and eco-friendly. It is the favorite material for those who want to preserve their non-stick wok. Next slide. Tongs. Tongs are a type of tool used to grip and lift objects instead of holding them directly with hands. There are many forms of tongs adapted to their specific use. Tongs that have long arms terminating in a small flat circular end of tongs and are pivoted at a joint close to the handle used to handle delicate objects. Common fire tongs used for picking up pieces of coal and placing them on a fire without burning fingers or getting them dirty. So yung tongs po addition, it provide a way to move, rotate, and turn the food with delicate precision or fetch a full serving in one grab. Next, whisk. It is a cooking utensil which can be used to blend ingredients, to smooth or to incorporate air into a mixture in a process known as a whisking or whipping. Most wheels consist of a long, narrow handle with a series of wire loops joined at the end. The loops can have different shapes depending on the whisk's intended function. The wire of whisks are usually metal po, but some are plastic for use with non-stick software. Next, next is cutting board. It is a durable board in which to place material for cutting. The kitchen cutting board is commonly used in preparing food. Other types except for cutting boards are often made of wood or plastic and come in various widths and sizes. The cutting board or chopping board is also a surface that most of our food items come in contact with. So it's necessary that we replace them after a year. Next, measuring spoon. It is used to measure an amount of an ingredient, either liquid or dry. When cooking, it may be made of plastic, metal, and other materials. They are also available in many sizes, including teaspoon and tablespoon. Next, mixing bowl are used for storage, working, dough, mixing dry ingredients, mixing salads, organizing, and many more. It is a round dish used to prepare and serve food. The smallest size of bowls are commonly used for mixing small quantities or beating eggs. Larger bowls are most often used to prepare medium amounts of sauces or for mixing dried ingredients. Next po, skimmer. The skimmer is used to skim off the foam that forms on the surface of cooking liquid. It can also be used to drain foods that are prepared in liquid. Grater. Grater is an essential tool for food preparation that slices, grains, and cuts food into shapes such as strips or bits, so that ingredients can be evenly dispersed into the food being prepared. The sharp blades, panels, and drums used to grate the food are most often stainless steel to keep them from rusting, although plastic composite graters are also available. Graters are available in a variety of types and sizes, generally categorized as flat hand or rust graters, flat heavy-duty graters, all-purpose or box graters, multi-purpose graters, and rotary graters. Next, colander. A colander is a kitchen utensil that is primarily used to rinse vegetables or strain foods such as pasta. The bottom is perforated, which allows for water or liquid to drain through while holding on the solids inside. The perforated nature of the colander allows liquid to drain through while retaining the solids inside. It is sometimes also called a pasta strainer or kitchen sieve. Next, peeler. A peeler removes the peeler or skin from fruits and vegetables. Most of peelers have steel blade attached to a handle made of steel, metal, rubber, or plastic. Additional, it removes the skin from produce, including eggplant, mango, and butternut squash. They also can be used for shaving then slices of chocolate to be used as a finishing touch or garnish. To prevent a peeler from slipping and decrease your risk of injury, make sure your hands are clean and dry, and use smooth, fluid motions when peeling. While most peelers are dishwasher safe, washing and drying by hand reduces rusting and dulling of the blade.
So next is tools and aids for cutting, slicing, chopping, paring, and pounding. Pero bago ito, dito muna tayo sa mga cutting terms. So una is chop. It is to cut into irregularly shaped pieces, usually a technique used with vegetables and meat. Chef knife or cleaver is used with this process. Then the next one is grate or shred. It is to cut food into small uniform, straw-like shavings, and shredding is the finer of these two cutting techniques. Cheese and solid vegetables such as carrots or zucchini and chocolate are some typical food items that are grated or shredded. Next is julienne. It is one of the types of dice. Uh, when food is cut into long, thin, matchstick-shaped rectangular pieces, measuring 1/16 of an inch on the side and 1 1/2 to 2 inches long. Then the next one is dice. Cutting food into cube or matchstick-shaped pieces. Then the last one is pare, which is to remove a thin layer of skin from a vegetable or a fruit, usually done with a peeler or paring knife. So dito na tayo sa mga tools na ginagamit for cutting, slicing, chopping, paring, and pounding. So number one, or yung una is chef knife. Chef knife is the most common all-purpose knife that is approximately 8 inches long and has a V shape and also called French knife. The next is paring knife. A paring knife is a small knife with a slightly serrated edge. It is also used for peeling fruits and vegetables or making other small cuts such as garnishes. Next is bread knife, a knife with a serrated cutting edge that uses a saw-like motion to prevent crushing the food. The next is sharpening steel. It is a flint type rod for sharpening blades of knives. Next is can opener, bottle openers, handheld crank openers, and electric can openers. Ito naman yung tool for removing the lids from metal cans. At ginagamit din to syempre to open the metal cans by grabbing into the edge of can, while razor sharp circular blades cut the metal along the circular top to reveal the contents. The next is kitchen shears. Ito naman yung heavy scissors for cutting meat, dough, pizza, fresh herbs, and ginagamit din for loosen the bottle lids and small jars. Pwede rin gamitin para mag-crack ng nuts or even yung mga shellfish. Next is yung pizza cutter. It is a heavy blade used for syempre for cutting pizza and other bar cookies. Next is pastry wheel. Pastry wheel is a special blade used to cut dough or pie crust into strips. It is can have a straight or flatted edge. The next is yung melon baller. Ito naman yung round tool for cutting melons. Parisienne knife is the traditional French term for this utensil. The next is vegetable peeler. A vegetable peeler is a thin blade to remove the outer surface of fruits and vegetables. Ginagamit din para maiwasan natin yung mga waste and loss of nutrients na sinasabi. The next is yung grater. Grater used to grate cheese, carrots to various degree of fineness. Nagko-contain din to yung ng mga holes that are sharp. So kapag yung food item is drag across the tool, syempre yung food is mag-shred siya. The next is yung cutting boards, which is na-discuss na kanina. So ituloy lang natin, cutting boards, wood, glass or plastic surface for protecting counters when cutting foods. And glass should never be used because it damages knives. So sinasabi rin na plastic is the most sanitary because bacteria can live in wood cutting boards. And make sure to buy color-coded boards for food safety. So sabi nga, akala natin yung mga color ng cutting boards ay parang wala lang. Pero ito ay may reason pala kung bakit sila nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang color. So meron tayong green para sa mga vegetables and fruits. Meron namang blue para sa mga raw seafood. And ang red naman para sa raw meat. And yellow for cooked meat and white is for dairy. So, yun lang. Para magkaroon tayo ng food safety.
Measuring and weighing tools. Kitchen measuring tools are essential to get the ideal blend of ingredients for any recipe. Part of the reason why some may fail in their cooking attempts is because they put in an accurate amount of ingredients. Dry measuring cups. The sole purpose of dry measuring cups is to weigh dry ingredients like flour, spices, salt, or sugar. Dry measuring cups also come in varying sizes such as 1/4 cups, 1/3 cups, 1/2 cups, or 1 cup. Ideally, it is better to invest in different sizes as you never know when and which one you may need. Liquid measuring cups. This makes it easy to check the quantity of the liquid poured into the cup. Also, these are the kinds of materials that are easy to use owing to their transparent outlook. It helps you see the quantity of the ingredient without any trouble whatsoever. Next is measuring spoons. Measuring spoons are a significant component of the modern kitchen cookware. It helps measure smaller quantities of dry and wet ingredients alike. Most bake recipes, muffins, cakes, bread, etc., require accurate measurement of ingredient, and that's when the application of measuring spoon kicks in. These spoons come in different size ranges from 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon to 1/2 tablespoon to 1 tablespoon. The following are some of the types of measuring spoons: the stainless steel, plastic, wooden, and magnetic. 4 is slatted spoon. Slatted spoons that come with a hole in the middle are often served as a weighing tool. They are usually used for serving spaghetti. Most people don't know but the hole in the spoon determines one serving of spaghetti. To accurately measure the serving size, you will need the slatted spoon. Digital scales are designed to measure the weight of an ingredient. To use a digital scale, you need to put the ingredient on the electronic surface. The weight can be read on the electronic or analog display then. Hanging measuring scales are an old weight measuring tool that comes with a hook on their bottom. Also known as crane scales, hanging scales are used to weigh heavy food items like fish or meat. The attack hook allows you to hang the item which faces downward. Instant read thermometer. An instant read thermometer is ideal when you have to check the temperature of solids like roasted chicken or meat, or liquids like soaps, stock, etc. Oven thermometer. An oven thermometer is a kitchen utensil which is used to check the temperature of the oven. Sometimes the oven can become too hot or too cold, and it is hard to tell that without an oven thermometer. This helps ensure that the temperature remains consistent throughout your roasting or baking. 9 is timer. A kitchen timer acts as an alarm so that your food doesn't burn off or gets overcooked. For example, if you have placed kitchen to roast in the oven and set the timer for an hour, the timer will start to buzz in exactly 60 minutes, reminding you to take the kitchen out of the oven. Then is spaghetti measuring tool. This is a simple tool that helps pick Figure out how much spaghetti to boil based on the whole size. And last is yeast measuring cups. This nifty measuring gadget is for the bread makers out there and helps to get the right amount of yeast for baking. That's all. Thank you.
Tools for mixing, blending, straining, and rolling. In cooking, several methods are used in order to achieve the dish we want to make. This is done through mixing po. Some of the tools for mixing are mixing bowls, spatula, whisk, and wooden spoon po. Pero di ko na po siya i-discuss kasi po na-discuss na siya sa hand tool. Let us now proceed for the hand mixer. Use as electric alternative to whisk. It comes with the two pairs of changeable attachment. So, yung attachment naman po, based sa gagawin nyo. Kapag more heavier yung dough, the curve one po yung gagamitin nyo. Kapag more fluid side naman po, gagamit nyo naman yung may four sides. Next one is the stand-alone mixer. Fit for use by seasoned bakers or for the baking times. Electrically used, which comes with the stand mixing bowl, two pairs of mixing hook and whisk, approximate for more heavy-duty mixing than the handed one. So, it is used naman po mostly kapag merong massive production or for commercial use. Let us now proceed for the blending. Food processor. An electric tool like a blender but differs by the interchangeable blade. It's designed specifically for a different purpose like chopping, curing, shredding, blending, and canning dough po. Ito naman po, usually ginagamit pag mag-grind tayo ng meat, pag mag-chop ng sibuyas bawang kapag marami tayong lulutuin. Tapos kapag yung ibang blade naman po, ginagamit siya para makapaghiwa o makapag-shred tayo ng mga vegetable. The next one is electric blender. Used to blend and make cured ingredients may be used by blending ripe fruits as flavored for cakes and pies. Also great for blending herbs for a more nutritious and healthier recipe. Ang blender naman po ay design sa pag-pulverize and combine na ginagawa natin kadalasang smoothie, pure, or dressing. Last one for the blender is the immersion blender. Also known as a stick blender, mini blender, hand blender, or wand blender, is a kitchen blade grinder used to blend ingredients or to pure food in container in which they are being prepared. Ito naman po ay mostly ginagamit sa sauces, pag-puree, and frozen food. Kasi mas stable po ang pag-emulsification niya kaysa sa electric blender. Tools for straining food meal used to pure soft food while simultaneously straining out the undesired skin, fiber, pulp, and seed the whole food that's being pured has. Ito naman po ay ginagamit sa mga sauce or pag-puree. Pero naiiba ito kasi may manual na hand crank siya na nagsisiguro na lahat ay na-strain. The next one is tamis. Are unique strainers that also have a more unconventional look that acts as strainer, grater, or food mill. The last one for the strainer is spider strainacula. Most popular type of strainer. The spider strainer features a wire basket that looks like a spider web. It is a very versatile kitchen equipment. So, ito naman po, siguro, yung lagi natin ginagamit kapag nagluluto tayo ng mga prito-prito para ma-drain yung mga oil nila. Tools for rolling. Rolling pin. A cylindrical food preparation utensil used to shape and flatten dough. Two styles of rolling pin are found, rollers and rods. Ito naman po yung ginagamit natin pang flat ng mga dough kapag gagawa tayo ng mga bread. And the next one is the dough shredders. A countertop or the tabletop dough shredder is like a piece of industrial equipment that bakers can use to make a dough in large quantities without taking a lot of time. So, ito naman din yung ginagamit natin for industrial or commercial use. Kunyari, meron tayong bakery. Ito yung karaniwang meron sa mga bakery o kaya mga big stores. That's all. Thank you.
So the next kitchen tools are tools for holding, lifting, and scooping. And the first kitchen tools is the straight spatula or palette spatula knife. It is a 2 to 3 cm wide flexible handled blade with a rounded and sharpened end used for manipulating foods such as spreading and for smoothing icings or cakes and for mixing and scrubbing bowls. So commonly straight spatula is made of flexible materials, and with its round edge shape, it can easily scrub excess ingredients or in a mixing bowls like icing and etc. And then the second tool is the sandwich scrubber. It has blade length of 3 1/2 and handle length of 4, which is used for spreading, filling, and spread on the sandwich. So sandwich scrubber is commonly ideal or used for spreading butter and cutting cheese for breads. And the next tool is the cook's fork or the meat turner. It is a cook equipment used for lifting and turning meat, and other items must be strong enough to hold heavy loads. So cook's fork or meat turner is commonly used dun sa mga bulky dishes for them to be easily turned or left, and because of its shape, it is ideal, or it can reach oven and pots to turn and lift those heavy or bulky dishes. And the next tool is the offset spatula. So an offset spatula is used for turning, lifting eggs and pancakes and meat on the griddle, grills, shed pans, and so on. It can also be used as a scrubber to clean bench or griddle. So offset spatula is also ideal for spreading batter in a cake pan or frosting the top of the cake because of its shape. And the next tool is the pie server. Pie server is a wedge-shaped offset spatula boasting a solid blade in classic triangular shape. The pie server makes it easy to pick up a slice and move it onto a plate. Plus, its edge can be used to cut through crust and create even slices in the pie. So the pie server is specifically designed to cut, remove, and transfer pie slices and should produce futuristic intact pieces para magmukha pa rin siyang appetizing kahit na nahiwa na yung isang pie or yung one piece of pie. And the next tool is the spoon, solid or slotted, used for stirring, mixing, and serving. And slated and perforated spoon is used when liquid must be arranged from solid materials. So the solid spoon is commonly used dun sa mga pagkain na hindi na kailangang i-extract from liquid, or the dry dishes na hindi na kailangan i-extract from liquid. And yung slotted spoon naman is commonly used dun sa mga dishes na kailangan pang i-extract from the liquid, kagaya na lang ng chicken, kailangan pa siyang extract from oil. And the next tool is the tongs. It is commonly used to pick up and handle food in the kitchen. So tongs is used for the dishes to easily handle or hindi gamitin yung kamay. And the next tool is the pasta ladle. This spoon looks very much like other soup spoons, except for two big difference: an edge with teeth and a hole in the middle of the basin. The teeth allows you to grab pasta in hot water quickly, and the hole allows the water to drain out. So isa pa is pasta ladle, as hindi lang siya nakakatulong to get the pasta from the boiling water, but it also helps us to measure a single serving of pasta, kasi isang kuha is one serving or etc. And the next tool is the spatula. The omelette spatula is an example of one type of spatula. Flat in nature, this tool allows you to slide under food and pick it up to serve from hot skillet or to flip to cook. the other side. So, yung spatula is used to lift and flip nga yung items during cooking, kagaya na lang ng pancakes and fillet. And the next one is the ladle. A ladle is essentially a very large, long-handled spoon. It is used for serving liquid dishes like soups, stew, or sauces. So, yung ladle niya is commonly used siya sa mga serving or sa pag-serve ng mga liquid dishes. The second tool is the ball cutter or the melon ball scoop or the foration knife. Foration knife. So it is a sharp edge, scoop or cup shape, half spear implement for cutting fruits and vegetables into small balls. So yung ball cutter niya is commonly used siya to cut or to create small balls made up of vegetable or fruit. Commonly ginagamit siya sa pang-decorate or sa pag-plating, and ginagamit siya for decoration ng pagkain to make it more appetizing. And the next one is the ice cream scooper. The ice cream scooper gives you better leverage with a stronger handle and a deep curved spoon that allows the ice cream to curl up for that perfect dessert ball serving in a bowl. The scooper typically comes in two forms, which is the static basic design and the one with the separator function. Ice cream scooper niya is ginagamit siya to create the perfect round shape ice cream, to make it also appetizing and to make it look more presentable. And the last one is the oven mitts. So oven mitts are used in order to protect your hand from being burned when transferring hot food to and from the oven. No longer will you have to wrap your hand in a tea towel and try not to spill your dish or get burned as you pull it out one-handed. So commonly, oven mitts are made of isolated gloves mitten para nga to prevent being burned or getting burned, especially pag nagluluto in ovens and pots. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Siya na? Basic Preparation Part 1. Information on standardized recipe using abbreviation, equivalent measurement, and mathematical operation and standard substitute. Standardized recipe. All recipes are not created equal. Some recipes have missing ingredients, faulty seasonings, insufficient or poor instruction causing more work, and some are simply not tested. A standard recipe is a set of written instructions used to consistently prepare a known quantity and a quality of food for a specific location. A standardized recipe will produce a product that is close to identical in taste and yield every time it is made, no matter who follow the direction. So when we say standard recipe, it means that kung ano yung lasa ng sinare mo this day, yun pa rin yung matitikman mo if ever na kumain ka ulit sa restaurant na yun. So they ensure that the product is the same every time it is served. So they have consistency. Common cooking abbreviation. Although some recipes spell out measurement, a lot of cookbook use abbreviation. Oftentimes, different books will use different abbreviation, which can cause confusion when putting together a dish. So, so this table is a common abbreviation and their corresponding unit of measurement. So first abbreviation is C, and the unit of measurement is cup. G is for gram, kg is for kilogram, L is for liter, LB is for pound, ml is for milliliter, O is for ounce, pt is for pint, TTSP is for tablespoon, and TTVTVI TBSP is for tablespoon. TTSP is for teaspoon pala po. Equal amount. This table shows you equivalent or measurement that are equal to other measurement. Proper measuring of ingredients is important to successful cooking and baking. Some foods can be greatly affected by too much or too little or of certain ingredients such as salt, baking soda, baking powder, and hot or spicy ingredients such as cayenne pepper. Common measurement in cooking. So unit of measurement for pinch or dust is equivalent to less than 1/8 teaspoon. 3 teaspoon is equivalent of 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoon is equivalent to 1 fluid ounce. 4 tablespoon is equivalent to 1/4 cup. 5 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon is equivalent to 1/3 cup. 12 tablespoon is equivalent to 3/4 cup. 16 tablespoon is equivalent to 1 cup. 1 cup is equivalent to 8 fluid ounces. So, ito po yung mga substitute in case na wala yung main ingredients sa pag-prepare ng food. So, first ingredients is cornstarch. So, if ever na wala tayong cornstarch, we can use 2 tablespoons of flour as a substitute. Next example is baking powder. We can use 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon plus 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg plus 1/8 teaspoon of cardamom. The third example is butter. So, kapag wala po tayong butter, we can use 1 cup margarine, 1 cup vegetable shortening. An equal amount of oil can be substituted for a similar portion of melted butter if the recipe specifies using melted butter. Yun lang, be.
Basic food preparation techniques in the production of quality food products. The first one is baking. The technique. Basic food preparation techniques in the production of quality food products. The first one is baking, the technique of prolonged cooking of food by dry heat, acting by convection, normally in an oven, but can also be done in hot ashes or on hot stones. Appliances like Cryomatic also allow automatic baking. So, yung automatic baking is, ito yung malalaking oven or machinery. Usually, ang mga gumagamit ito ay yung mga malalaking bakery na gumagawa ng mass production ng pastries or cake. Meron din silang tinatawag na blind baking. Ito yung kinds ng baking pastry before adding the filling. For example is pie or tart. Broiling. So, ang broiling is cooking by exposing food to direct radiant heat, either on a grill over live coals or below a gas burner or electric coil. So, under ng broiling is grilling and barbecuing. So, sa grilling, a form of cooking that involves dry heat applied to the surface of food, commonly from above or below. While the barbecuing is a method of cooking meat, poultry, and occasionally fish with the heat and hot smoke of a fire, smoking wood or hot coals of charcoal. Frying. Frying is cooking food in oil or another fat, a technique that originated in ancient Egypt around 2500 BC. So, may iba't ibang klase din pala ng pag-fry. Hindi lang yung lahat ang tawag natin is prito na. So, ang unang type ng frying is deep frying. So, deep frying, food is submerged in hot oil or fat. This is normally performed with deep fryer or chip fan. Next one is hot salt frying. Hot salt frying are cooking techniques used by street-side food vendors in Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, and India. Hot salt frying is an old cooking technique and is used in village throughout Asia and other parts of the world. So, feeling ko ang example ng hot salt frying is yung itlog na pula. The next type of frying is the gentle frying. Gentle frying or low temperature frying is an oil or fat-based cooking method used for relatively fragile or starchy food. While gentle frying is most notably used to cook fried eggs, it is also used for delicate fish, tender cuts of meat, sausage, and as first step in fried potatoes. Pan frying. Pan frying is cooking food in a pan using a small amount of cooking oil or fat as a heat transfer agent and to keep the food from sticking. So, ang parang pag nagpiprito tayo ng chicken breast and fish fillet, dun daw yun daw yung applicable na tawag sa pagpiprito sa kanila. Pan frying. So, yung pressure frying naman is variation on pressure cooking where meat and cooking oil are brought to high temperatures while pressure is held high enough to cook the food more quickly. The process is most notable for its use in preparation of fried chicken in many commercial fried chicken restaurants. Siguro ito na yung parang deep fry din siya pero mas mabilis kaya kaya siguro siya natawag na pressure frying. Next is sautéing. From French word sauté, jump, which means jumped or bounced, in reference to tossing while cooking, is a method of cooking that uses
Tawag ka. Tita Imo.
record ako ng report matatapos na. Po?
Short daw.
Maano po? Mabantay sa baba?
Adayo lang daw. Take two.
Hindi po ako makarecord.
Short na lang daw. Ano nito? Konti na lang ba short nito? Ano? Nilalagay dito sa short mo. Ano was burning?
Sautéing. From French sauté, which means jump, bounce, in reference to tossing while cooking. Sautéing is a method of cooking that uses a relatively small amount of oil or fat in a shallow pan over relatively high heat. The next one is shallow frying. It is typically used to prepare portion-sized cuts of meat, fish, potatoes, patties such as fritters. Shallow frying can also be used to cook vegetables. Siguro dito naman sa shallow frying is yun yung tawag sa pag-fry nung like yung saging sa humba, yung mga kasama, yung mga vegetable na piniprito muna bago niluluto. So the last type of frying is stir frying. Stir frying is a Chinese cooking technique in which ingredients are fried in a small amount of very hot oil while being stirred or tossed in a wok. The technique originated in China and in recent century has spread into other parts of Asia and the West. It is similar to sautéing in Western cooking technique. Roasting. Roasting is a cooking method that uses dry heat, whether an open flame, oven, or other heat source. Roasting usually causes caramelization or Maillard browning of the surface of the food, which is considered by some as a flavor enhancement. So sa roasting, kasama din doon yung grilling, parang katulad doon sa broiling. Pero may pinagkaiba sila, yung roasting, ang kailangan niya is high temperature ng heat kesa sa broiling. So, ito yung mga types ng roasting: grilling, rotisserie, and searing. The next cooking technique is hot smoking. Smoking, the process of flavoring, cooking, or preserving food by exposing it to the smoke from burning or smoldering plant materials, most often wood. Hot smoking will cook and flavor the food while cold smoking only flavors the food. So, ang example nito is yung dried fish natin, like tinapa. So, in addition lang is meron din silang tinatawag na chemical techniques like Braining is a process similar to marination in which meat or poultry is soaked in brine before cooking. Marinating, drying, fermentation, marinating, pickling, salting, seasoning, souring, sprouting, and sugaring.
So the next topic is the structure and functions of a standard recipe. Standard recipe is a method of standardizing recipes in such a way so that there is a tight control on cost and quantity. A hotel can control quantities, quality, and cost more easily. It is most useful to use a standard recipe in a hotel where there are a number of chefs cooking the food. The standard recipe lays down all the ingredients, method of production, and quantities used. This will determine the size of the portion of production control. So, ang standard recipe is ito yung ginagamit ng mga restaurants or ng mga chefs para magluto ng isang dish. Kinakailangan nila to para magkaroon sila ng guide para dun sa isang dish na yun, pare-parehas lang ng quantity, pare-parehas lang ng lasa, ng nutrients na matatanggap ng mga kakain ng dish na yun. So, standardized recipe will produce a product that is close to identical in taste and yield every time it is made, no matter who follows the directions. So, what is the purpose of standardized recipe? A standard recipe ensures that a menu item made one day tastes and looks the same as one made a few days, weeks, or even months of years later. Customers appreciate that each time they order the same item on the menu, they know exactly what to expect. Consistency presents other benefits beside customer satisfaction since the chef knows exactly kung ilan o gaano lang kadami ang ingredient ang ilalagay sa isang dish. Mapapadali ang chef sa pagluluto pati na rin sa pag-inventory. Makokontrol din ang paggamit ng ingredients at magiging less gastos ito para sa isang resto or sa isang may small business, lalo na sa mga small business. And knowing the exact ingredients and the amount, malalaman din ang nutrition content ng isang meal. So, ang sinasabi ko kanina, meron akong nabanggit na card. Sa isang standard recipe, the common recipe elements in standardized recipe is meron silang tinatawag na standardized recipe card. So, ang nilalaman halos nun ay the recipe name or recipe card number, section, or meal pattern contribution. These include the name of the recipe card number, the section that the recipe should be classified, or under grains, meat and meat alternate, or etc., and the contribution that one serving makes toward the child nutrition meal pattern. So, sa pangalawa naman is ingredients, listed in order of preparation and specifies the type of food used such as fresh apples, canned goods, macaroni uncooked, ground beef, raw. Dito na nakalista yung mga ingredients na dapat na ilagay sa isang dish. So, sunod is weight and measures. The weight and measures of each ingredient used in both weight and volume measures. Note, weighing ingredient is faster, easier, and more accurate. Lalo na sa mga resto na kailangan talaga accurate yung mga measures nila para pare-parehas lang yung magagawa nilang dish. Meron din na procedure. Directions on how to prepare the recipe include directions for mixing, number and size of pans, cooking temperature and time, and the directions for serving. The next one is yield or serving. The yield of a recipe should be recorded as the total weight or volume produced per 50 or 100 servings or another specified number of servings. The next one is serving size. List the number of servings that the recipe yields and the portion size to be served. Meron ding cost per serving. Ito ay optional lang. This is to determine the total cost to prepare the recipe and divide by the number of servings prepared to equal the cost of one serving. The next one is equipment and utensils to use. Listing of cooking and serving tools needed to produce and serve the food item. The next one is cooking temperatures and time. Appropriate temperature and amount of time needed for the highest quality product. So, ito na yung example ng standard recipe. Nakatago yung recipe. So, nabanggit ko kanina mayroong recipe name, nandito yung mga ingredients, description, quantity. Ito, nandito sa may right side kung paano gagawin yun. Ngayon, yan ang example ng standard recipe. So, the advantages of using a standard recipe is to provide consistent, high-quality food items that have been thoroughly tested and evaluated. It can also control portion size, which is very important in costing a dish. It is easy to determine the food cost of a particular dish. It simplifies the pricing of a particular dish. It reduces the possibility of error. Using standardized recipes supports creativity in cooking. The quantity of ingredients needed for production can be easily calculated based on the information provided on the recipe.
Yung proper measuring and weighing of ingredients, weights and measurement. To produce quality cooked and baked product, it is important to measure ingredients accurately. No one likes to waste food and the time it takes to prepare a recipe, so it is important to measure ingredients carefully. Mapapansin ba natin pag halimbawa may kulang sa isang niluluto. Minsan halimbawa sabihin natin na ano, yung mga pastry, ganun, mga tinapay. Minsan baga pag may mga nagkukulang, minsan hindi umaalsa ng maayos or hindi ganun katamis. So ganung bagay, pwedeng may masayang. Or pwede naman din siya ayusin. May nasasayang yung time siguro sa pagpe-prepare. Parang ganun. Metric units at imperial units. Yung pagkakaiba lang naman ito ay yung metric units. Dito yan sa Pilipinas, ginagamit yan at sa ibang bansa pa. Pero itong imperial units kasi, ginagamit to ng mga ano, nung sa United States. So, yun yung pagkakaiba dyan. Kasi sa recipe, yung mga recipes, baka malito kayo, ganun. Ano ba yung pound, ganun, di ba? Sa Amerika ang ginagamit pound, tapos dito sa atin ay kilogram, ganun. Common, common cooking abbreviation. Yan. Yung CC, cup yun, G, gram, kg, kilogram, L, liter, LB, pound, ML, milliliter, OZ, ounce, TT, pint, TTSP, teaspoon yun. Tapos yan, ano naman, familiar naman na tayo dyan, hindi naman yung bago sa atin. Nakikita naman natin yan. Nagbibili tayo ng product sa SM, nakikita natin yan. Conversion of measurement and cooking. Pinch or dust. Ibig sabihin doon ng ganun ay less than 1/8 ng teaspoon. 3 teaspoon. Yan, isang 3 teaspoon daw ay equal sa 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoon equal sa isang 2 with ounce. 1 jigger, 1 and 1 half 2 with ounce. 4 tablespoon, 1/4 cup daw yan. 5 tablespoon plus 1. 1/3 cup daw yan. So, ayan pa. Makikita nyo yun sa module. Pwede nyo na lang tingnan yung mga conversion. Yun. Punta na tayo sa using correct measuring equipment. Measuring small amount of ingredients katulad ng salt, baking soda, spices, and flavoring. Yung ginagamit dito, usually, at yung proper din ng paggagamit dito, syempre yung spoon. Alangan naman na gamitin mong cup pa dyan, mga small amount lang naman ba yung nilalagay sa mga ganyan. Measuring liquid ingredients, example include water, milk, vegetable oil, and syrup. Ang ginagamit dito yung cup, pero make sure na yung pagtingin mo ng ano, yung sa pag-measurement nito, 'di ba? Mga citro naman yung mga ginagamit natin dito, mga ano, yung mga transparent makikita mo pero may mga guhit-guhit. Make sure daw na pag magme-measure daw tayo ng ganito, dapat daw naka-eye level. Kasi iba bagay nakikita natin pag nakatingin tayo sa taas or nakatingin tayo sa pababa nito. Dapat eye level daw para mas accurate yung measurement. Measuring dry ingredients such as flour, sugar, cornmeal, solid shortening, and peanut butter. Yun, katulad lang din nung nakaraan, nung ano, nung nadaanan natin kanina na cup lang din yung ginagamit dito. May iba't ibang klaseng ng cups, yung 1/4, 1/3, at 1/2. Na-discuss yun ng mga nauna. Okay. Spoon din, ganun, ginagamit din siya. Yun, measuring ingredients. Yung una, yung measuring shortening. Pag sinabi nating shortening, ito yung fats na ginagamit sa pagbe-bake. Ganun. Um, Liquid shortening such as salad oil and melted butter or margarine can be measured in the same way as liquids. Measure shortening such as lard, vegetable shortening, or even peanut butter as shown to the right. Pack it in the shortening firmly to the top of the measuring spoon or graduated cup. Level up the shortening with the flat side of a table knife. Yan. Pakalagay daw dun sa cup. Ipa-flat daw gamit yung table knife. Measuring butter and or margarine. Each 1/4 pound stick of butter or margarine measures 1/2 cup. Okay. The wrapping is usually marked in tablespoon for measuring smaller amount. With a sharp knife, cut off the number of tablespoons needed, following guidance on the wrapper. For butter margarine not wrapped this way, measure at the level of a solid shortening. Measuring sugar. Lightly spoon sugar. Yan. Diba? Alam naman natin yan. Normal naman na ang pag-measure natin ng sugar, ay ginagamitan natin ng spoon. Graduated measuring cup. Pag mga pakunti-kunti yung spoon, nalalagay sa measuring cup. Yan po. Measuring liquids. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, cup yung ginagamit. Dapat eye level para mas maayos. If using measuring spoon, pour the liquid just to the top of the spoon without letting it spill over. With the liquid measure on the level surface, slowly pour the liquid into the cup until it reaches the desired line. Tapos yung panghuli, yung measuring flour. This direction applies, di ba, may yung canister, yung mga canister, yung mga lalagyan. Di ba, pag nag-aano tayo ng flour, di ba, paunti-unti natin nalalagay sa cup. Kasi pag measure ng cup, ang alam ko yung nalalagay siya sa cup gamit yung measuring spoon din. Tapos ayun, ganun yung pag-measure ng cup. So, yun lang po. Salamat.